So an Episcopal priest and his wife had a baby. The day after the birth of their child, the priest went into the hospital in his clerical collar to visit his wife. And when he came in, he gave her a big hug and a kiss. And then when he left, he gave her another big hug and a kiss. And a little bit later, the wife's roommate in the hospital said, "Your pastor sure is friendlier than mine." Today is National Scavenger Hunt Day. This day is set aside to enjoy the good old-fashioned fun of a scavenger hunt. It was created in the early 1900s by American gossip columnist, author, songwriter, and professional hostess Elsa Maxwell for use as a party game. Of course, teams are challenged to scavenge for a list of odd items. The participants are not allowed to buy anything, but may have to beg, barter, or work for them. And some scavenger hunts add riddles to each item, which increases the difficulty of the game. Of course, the team with the most items, or the first team to complete the list, wins. So we will now go with a verse of American. Verse is ready to go. My country is a free, sweet land of liberty, of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrims' pride, from every mountainside, let freedom ring. You may be seated, and Frank Henderson will give our Rotary Minute today.
Well, good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. All right, that's better. Well, if you remember, and I hope everybody does remember, several weeks back I informed you about the prestigious Webby Award, which is the leading international honor for excellence on the internet. And Rotary.org, our site, was nominated for the Webby's People's Voice Award. And I encourage you to go online and to cast your vote for Rotary.org. Now, I'm not going to ask you to show your hands if you did. I don't want to embarrass those that didn't.
Cannot tell why.
But I did. And anyway, here's the results. There were 13,000 entries from nearly all 50 states and 70 countries. 3 million votes were cast, and if you did cast a vote, you're one of the 3 million. And last week, at the Webby Awards 22nd annual ceremony in New York, Rotary.org was declared the winner. Round of applause. So, why is this significant? Let me tell you. Because it tells us several things. One, a large number of folks hit our website, okay? And that creates a greater awareness of who we are, what we do, and what causes we champion. Additionally, on our website, you know, we invite other like-minded individuals who desire to create lasting change across the globe, in our countries, in our communities, and within ourselves. And we invite them to join us because we all know that we can accomplish significantly more together than what any of us could do alone. So yay, shout out for Rotary.org.
Thank you, Frank. Jim Leiker will do our guest introductions today.
Thank you. When I call your name, if you would please stand if you're able, or wave your hand, or that sort of thing, that'd be great. We welcome our guests. A guest that we know and love is Twink Lynch is here, a guest of First Conference.
Hi, Twink! Yay!
And Mark Lynch, Mark Wade, there we go. And Judith Gooser is a guest. They're all guests of First Conference.
Hi, Judith.
Another guest that we certainly welcome is Christina de la Isla, and guest of Nicole Revna. Would you please stand? And another guest that we welcome, Bradley Hopper with Hopper Design Works. Bradley, and guest Mark DeGraw. And our exchange students that we welcome, Mattia from Italy, please stand. Leo from Brazil, and Helena from Norway. We certainly welcome, and they are guests of Betty Schlossman. So thank you for being here, and thank you for the Rotary members that brought them.
We are so glad you're all here today. This month's featured charity is Easter Seals Capper Foundation. And I think this is the last time for this charity this month. We have a number of announcements today. First of all, our Rotary International Toast today will recognize the Rotary Club of Barrie, Ontario, Canada. Ann Palmer told me that she's actually been there, and it's wonderful. It was chartered in 1946. They currently have 137 members, and the president is Sebastian Osselberg. So let's raise our glasses in an international Rotary toast. Hear, hear. I'd like to announce a couple of new member applicants, and if you're here, please stand. James Jeffries, I don't know that we saw him come in today. Oh, hi James, glad you're here today. He's a commercial loan officer with Fidelity State Bank and Trust, and sponsored by Stan Martindale. And Lois Dimmitt, who's going to be a part of the family membership, and of course sponsored by her husband Larry Dimmitt, and I don't know that she's here today. We actually get to do some red badge presentations today, so if Alonzo and Colleen Jameson will come forward. I believe they are here. There they are. And I don't know if Clint Patty came in today or Leo Espinoza. So Alonzo and Colleen, we are very, very pleased to welcome you to our Rotary Club. This is a wonderful organization worldwide. You're not just a member of this club, but you are a member of Rotary International. Welcome at any club in the world, and there are lots available. So we encourage you to come as often as you can, get involved as much as you can, and pretty soon you'll be doing your orientation, so you'll find out more about Rotary and about our club. And you'll also find out how to turn these red badges into blue badges. And what we want to do is get you engaged and involved so that you'll really feel like you're part of the club. So let's stand and give our newest members a warm Rotary welcome. We have several special events coming up in the next couple of 3 weeks, and the good thing about this is it doesn't involve any work on anybody's part, no, on most of your parts. You just come and enjoy. I just want to point these out to you. You've all gotten an email regarding President Ian Risley's visit to Atchison, and that's going to be next Wednesday, May 30th from 4 to 5 o'clock. And there will be, and new Paul Harris Fellows will receive special recognition from the president of Rotary International. An email registration went out yesterday, I think, and I'm going to go, so if anybody'd like to ride along with me, that would be great. It's about an hour up and an hour back and an hour to be there, so it should be very fun. We will also have a club social next Thursday, a week from today. This will be at Glacier's Edge Winery, which is south on Highway 75. It's about a 15-minute drive. You will get an email invitation that we'd like you to sign up for that, so we'll know how many are coming. That will go out this afternoon. There'll be a cash bar and hors d'oeuvres provided by the club, and I've been out there. It is really nice. I know you are ready to save the date for June 14th. We have a big event at the Country Club, really 2 events. The first one, starting at 5:30, will be to honor Blanche Parks, who is the district governor-elect, and we will receive the district governor flag from the Village West Club as the DG position transfers to Blanche. There's no charge for the reception. We really hope you can come. It will be sponsored by our club. And then, of course, that same evening, we will have a club banquet celebration that will just talk about all the great things we've done this year and just be able to enjoy each other's company for the evening. You also should have already received an email invitation to that, so I hope you will come and I hope you will bring guests as well. I'd like to turn the microphone to Hurst Kaufman with special presentations today.
Thank you, President Grace. Paul Harris Award from Rotary International is named after our founder, Paul Harris, and recognizes significant contributions, and especially contributions to the Rotary International Foundation. Before we get into our special recognition today, I want to recognize some individuals who participated in our Polio Plus campaign last fall and made significant contributions to Rotary International Foundation, specifically for the polio eradication Polio Plus project. And first of all, I would like Dr. Judith Kuzer to come forward. She made a contribution to Rotary International for Polio Plus and in return receives a Paul Harris Award. Other contribute, and if everyone who's receiving their Paul Harris Polio Plus Award would go to the back of the room, we'll have a group photo taken. Thank you. And Katie Brown. Dale and Sam Carter. And I don't think Janelle can be here today. Sam, are you here? Sam, we'll pick up both for you. Kevin Miller. Jim Leiker, Scott McKenzie. We could just wait to applaud for the whole group at the end. There are quite a few. Roger Eshelman, David Beck, Andy Chandler, John Christensen, Lucky DeFries. Lucky was on the phone when I left the office. So Ray Gerstenkorn, Tom Gorell, Don Horter, Kirk Johnson, the Knoll brothers, Dick and Steve Knoll, Grace Morrison, President Grace, Ann Palmer, Norma Pettijohn, Raymond Powers, John Underwood, and John Wall. Let's give all of these contributors a big hand. We are so close in the Polio Plus campaign to eradicating polio worldwide, and this summer when we're at the Rotary International Convention, those of us who are going, I'm looking forward to hearing the latest update. That's a tremendous project for Rotary in connection with the World Health Organization and other organizations. From time to time, it has been the practice of the board of directors of the Topeka Rotary Club to bestow an honorary Paul Harris Fellow on someone in our community who has made significant, positive, and lasting contributions. The Paul Harris Award, issued by the Rotary International Foundation, is the highest recognition of meeting our Rotary motto of service above self. In the past, our club has granted such honors to individuals such as Emery Fager, Henry Bubb, Barry Feeker, Robert Harder, Herb Scheffel, just to name a few. Today it is my pleasure to announce the decision of our board to give the honorary Paul Harris Fellow to Twink Lynch. Twink, who's actually Maureen, came to Topeka with her husband John and the start of their family of 4 children in 1963. And almost immediately, Twink and John got involved with the Topeka theater community through the Summer-Winter Theater. When the Summer-Winter Theater merged with the already existing Topeka Civic Theater in 1967, Twink began getting involved in the behind-the-scenes activities. Since then, she has performed literally every job possible at TCT, from administrative director to actress to fundraiser to cheerleader from the audience. In 1973, Twink chaired the Capitol campaign to find a permanent home for the nomadic group of thespians with the opening of the Warehouse on the Levee Dinner Theater in 1974. Again in the late 90s, when the old theater was flooded and in need of major repairs from years of use, Twink stepped up and served as chairman of the steering committee to raise money and oversee construction of the current TCT home in the old Gage School at 8th and Oakley. Twink worked tirelessly to keep TCT alive. Although she already had a master's degree in speech pathology, in order to meet the demands of her work for our community, Twink took on an accounting course at Washburn, a second master's degree in theater, and ultimately finished an interdisciplinary PhD in community theater management from KU. She was nationally recognized for leading workshops in fundraising, board development, and volunteer management. In addition to TCT, Twink served leadership roles on state and national levels with the Association of Kansas Theater and the American Association of Community Theaters. She also was a member of our club for 10 years and active with the Topeka United Way, the Chamber of Commerce, and the Y, just to name a few. We can all be very grateful for Twink's many years of tireless work on behalf of the arts in Topeka. She was never one to back away from a challenge. She has 4 wonderful children, all of whom have multiple doctoral level degrees with outstanding careers, and her son Mark is here with her today. Topeka is extremely fortunate to have had Twink Lynch arrive here in 1963. She has made Topeka a better place, and we should all endeavor to commit to a compelling cause that benefits our entire community, whatever it may be, and embrace it in the way she did in order to influence the Topeka community in such a visionary and significant manner. It is my great pleasure and honor to present a Paul Harris Fellow Award to our beloved Topekan, Twink Lynch.
Twink is absolutely amazing. Can't top that. That's fantastic. We will go ahead with our program now, and David Beck and Betsy Schlossman will get us started with it.
It gives me great honor to introduce to you 3 more of our international students that are here today. One actually is from here in Topeka, but will be an outbound student in the fall. They will be participating. We've got 3 high chairs for them, and we'll be sharing this mic. First is Miss Taya Flish, and I think you all know Taya from her many visits here, and also that wonderful jacket that jingles. She's here in buttons and stripes, and Taya is from Belgium. Ziane Williams is here, and Ziane will be our outbound student in the fall to the country of Denmark. And also next month, we will be doing a little bit of fundraising. The cup monies will be given to her to help her with all of the expenses as an outbound student. Our third is, I always want to say Adriana, but Ariana, who is from, my mind just blanked. Romania. From Romania. And I think you've all met Ariana before. She has been attending Topeka High School. Taya and Zayan have been at Seaman. Okay, we're going to start, just the format is to just ask a few questions, and this is for those of you who were here for this program last year. We'll just be asking a few questions that they can comment on about their experience. When we finish with those questions, and I'm in trouble because they disappeared off my phone. When we finish with those questions, you are free to ask some questions and they will be able to respond to that. Now that we already know their countries, I'm not going to ask them to reintroduce themselves. We'll just proceed with the questions, and I'll pass the microphone along. I keep passing it too soon.
You don't want to talk anymore.
Pardon me?
You don't want to talk anymore.
I do, in a way, because I'm trying to come up with the questions. Oh, yes. We have a volunteer to be Vanna. So, on the first question, I'd like to ask our inbound participants, what was the biggest surprise, the biggest difference, whatever, the biggest amazing thing that happened during your stay here?
Okay, so for the first 4 months, I got to spend my exchange here with Betsy. She was my first host mom, and I really like to spend time at her church, because for me back home, I'm Catholic, but I don't practice a lot. My family doesn't really practice, so we don't really go to church, so it was a very good experience, and all the people were so nice, and I made some new friends there too. But also another thing is that, oh yeah, my family right now, I have siblings and they are crazy, so, and back home I'm an only child, so it was a really good experience to have them by my side and just spend time with them. I'm gonna miss them so much. Also, oh yeah, I'm used to use knives, but here it's, I mean, when I eat. And I realized here that you don't lose, my family doesn't really use knife when they eat and when they cut. So, and at school too, like they give us fruit and like kiwis, and I'm used to use a knife to cut my kiwis, but at school here you can't bring a knife to, but in my school it would be okay if you want to bring a knife to eat, or if you want to ask for a knife, it's not a big deal. So, and also the supermarkets, they are huge here. And I really like to go to Walmart and do grocery shopping, because back home it's so small and I don't really enjoy it, so that's it.
Well, one of the biggest surprise was how involved people here are in sports and how much they care about them. And I don't mean only like big sports, but like, it seems that every weekend the whole family just goes to a football game or a soccer game. And for us, that's, I mean, I have never been to a basketball game before coming here. Like, it's not that of a big deal back home. And another like, surprise, this is more like not, so when I came here, and this is the idea that we have about the US, that we think about skyscrapers and California, and sometimes also about some cowboys, but it's the idea. It's the land of like the best country in the world where you can go. It's especially for me, for the Romanians, because we lived in a communism. My parents, they grew up in communism, and the fact that you respect freedom so much is like everyone wants to come here, especially from my country. Anyway, when I got here, my biggest surprise was to see that even though we are so different, we are the same in so many things. And it was to see that like you have problems too, and that US is more than that idea that I had from that I had this picture of like what I saw in movies, and the only thing that I know about the high school here is that you go to prom, and then there are some mean girls on the hallway, and then when you really get to go to school and see, I had in one of my classes, we talked about the whole immigration problem, and at some point a guy started crying. And I didn't understand exactly everything he said because he was crying and I couldn't hear it, but he had a very close person, I think his uncle, who tried to cross the border and he was killed during that. Or I got to see that. That was my biggest surprise, because I imagined coming here and everything was going to be like in movies or Hollywood. But my biggest surprise is that like the real life, that I really how life really is here, and most of the Americans are not those people that you have the picture of, like the New Yorkers. Most of the Americans are like Midwest people, and I think that was like the biggest surprise to see that it's not what we see in movies, and our perception is not right.
The next question is for Ziane as an outbound student, and I want to know how has Rotary made an impact on you and your family as a host family this year, and also what did you enjoy most about hosting Taya?
So this was like my first engagement with Rotary. I've been involved with my Interact Club at high school, and that's kind of how I found out about this. Not only did my family host Taya, but we also hosted Leo too. We hosted him for a couple months, and Taya was with us for a few weeks. Some of my biggest things, it just taught me and my family a lot about being open to new culture and learning new things, and just being open to being tolerance to their traditions, and understanding that they do things differently. And I thought that was really opening, and since I'll be going to Denmark next year, I thought it was really good and a good experience to see this side of it, and that way I'll know how my host family feels and what the things that they're going through, and just be able to know that sort of thing and be able to relate to them. And I think I learned a lot of good lessons, and it's just really exciting and cool. I think I got really close to Taya and to Leo, and I learned a lot about them and about their family. I met Leo's mom and his grandpa, and they're all super nice and kind, and it was just so amazing to see just how much they cared and they wanted their kids to have a good time over here. And it's just nice to know that people care, and I hope that my host families in Denmark are as sweet and as kind and want me to have a good experience.
Thank you, Zion. Let me ask again our inbound students, Taya and Ariana, what difference has your year in Topeka made in your life?
Okay, so I think I've become more open-minded, and I got maturity, and also I'm very thankful for my parents, because without them I couldn't have done what I did here. Also, I'm very grateful for all the people that I met here, all of my exchange students friends and all of my American friends, my families, and I'm gonna try to come back as soon as possible and also visit my friends in Europe and maybe in Brazil. I don't know. And also, I think I got a new appreciation for my country, but also I got another point of view regarding to the US. And as I said, I think Kansas is my home now, and I just don't want to leave. And I think an exchange year is not, how can I say that? It's not a year in a life, it's a life in a year. And I just, anyways, that's it.
This is a very complicated question because we learn so many things and we grow as people, as persons, and like I think the most important thing that I've learned this year is to appreciate things for what they are and not for like to just give up to all the like expectations that I have in my mind of what something needs to be, and just to appreciate it for what it is. And it was, I knew when I came here that I'm not going to New York, they won't send me to New York. But when I heard about Kansas, I wasn't very excited. And it's, and it's crazy that like after not 1 year yet, but after a few months, I really got to, I don't know, to love this place, even though I never thought that I would do that. I was like, oh, small city, whatever, I'm gonna have fun here, but that's it. But it's no, you really, like, I just discovered what are the really important things that matter, and I think I've learned to just give up to that superficial thing that, because we as a generation now, we are very like, everything where we go, it matters how you look and like what you post on Instagram and so on. But this year I've learned that it doesn't matter how many amazing pictures I put on Instagram of how great my experience here it is if I don't really live those moments here. And I learned that the important things are in the small things day by day, and that I don't need to be in New York to have people that really care about me.
Okay, I was just going to add something. Taya is a second generation inbound student. Her mom was an exchange student, and I think in the state of New York, was it? Yeah. Yes, upstate New York. So she's a second generation, and I'm hoping her kids will be the third generation. Zion, I'm looking for my questions here. What have you learned about Rotary and the impact that Rotary has on the world so far? I know you're very new to it, but...
I think I've learned a lot about Rotary in these past few months, and everything I've learned has been so great, and like I just realized that your club does so many good things for everybody, like not only like nationally but like internationally, and I just learned about like how you help eradicate polio, and you guys are all just so loving and caring, and just trying to make the world a better place, and that just makes my heart. It's just been great to learn about what you do, and I hope I learn a lot more, and yeah.
Okay, to our inbound students, what have you learned about Rotary and what it does in its local community and what it does in the world?
Before I came here, so I had I think 1 or 2 meetings with my Rotary club in my town, because we are like only 9 people in my club back home, so it's very small, and well, the meetings I had were just for me to introduce myself to the Rotarians. So it was more about my exchange year. And so I didn't know that, I thought Rotary was only an exchange program. I didn't know it was like all the things that you do for all the people. So I learned a lot this year. And also my counselor back home, she promoted Rotary more as an exchange program than anything else. But this year, I think I learned a lot, like how you help sick people, but also the students for their future. And also the biggest thing that I learned is probably Polio Plus. And I just think that it's amazing, and I'm very proud to be here with Rotary. And I wouldn't ask for another exchange program, I think. So thank you very much.
So I knew before I came here that Rotary, it's a charity organization, and because we have there are programs in my city too made by Rotary and fundraisers and that kind of stuff. And I saw that here you also have this, and I know David Beck, who was also my host, that he told me that was, I think, my favorite activity that Rotary did, when you go and buy shoes for little kids. And he told me about this little boy who he wanted a pair of shoes with Mickey Mouse, no, actually it was Minnie Mouse. And he was a boy and the shoes were pink, and everyone was like, you should not get those, but it was really cute. Because the boy, it doesn't matter what the other told him, he wanted the pink Minnie shoes. The thing that I've learned this year, and I think this is the most amazing thing, because there are a lot of organizations that do great things, but Rotary, I don't know if there's another, like, Rotary is so interconnected, like everywhere you go there's Rotary. It's amazing what connections Rotary makes between countries or between nations, and that's what I think it's amazing, because you know, because of Rotary I came here, and I like very much that they don't only want to do good in their community, they want to make people from other countries and other parts of the world to interact with each other. And this is so much more important, because at the end of the day, it's not only you and your family, it's the whole world who matters. So I think that is the most important thing that I've learned about Rotary.
Okay, one last question, and this is for Ziane as she's looking forward to her year overseas. How do you think that Rotary may be a part of your future?
So obviously I'm going on exchange, so Rotary will
in your future.
Yeah, will be in my near future for sure. I really hope that I can show my kids and they can be part of the Rotary Exchange program too. That would be amazing. I don't know, I might be involved with the club when I grow up. It's a really great place, and you're also loving and kind, and I just think it's a great way to be a part of the world and stay connected. And I just think that would be great. So I'd love to stay in touch and maybe become someone like Grace or anybody else who does such amazing things. And so I really do hope that you're still in my future.
Thank you very much. One of the reasons I personally joined Rotary was its international focus, not just the exchanges, which I think are phenomenal, but just the idea that we're connected. And if anyone here has not been to an international conference, I can't tell you how much you will gain by going to one and actually experiencing what our students have mentioned about the interconnectedness of the various clubs and things. I just am really joyful that we do the salute each week to another club and let them know that we're doing this. It means so much. I met a Rotarian in England. He and his wife had a charity going in Bangladesh. I went to the International Convention in Chicago and was asked to take pictures for this group that happened to be from Bangladesh. And the one gentleman who I spoke with a little longer indicated he was from the village where these friends of mine in England were working on their project, and he was aware of their project. And this was an individual project where a husband and wife were going over and establishing medical clinics, getting people trained from the community to work in the clinics. And it was an amazing project. Rotary did support at the local level. But there's just so much and so much connection, and I think it's when we think of world peace, that interconnectedness is what will build toward better understanding, which I think will lead us to peace. And with my lecture over, I would like to suggest if you have any questions for our students. First.
Well, when I traveled around the world, I kind of see the world through food. And is there anything you ate here that you never thought you didn't know you were going to eat? And what do you eat at home that you miss that you'll want to have the first day you get back home?
Okay. So I think sometimes when I hang out with my friends, once we went to Freddy's, and some people were eating their French fries they were dipping their French fries in their milkshake, and I was like, ooh, that's gross, I'm not doing it. But then I tried to, and I think it's good, so so you just gotta try. But also, here I love cheesecake. It's just my favorite thing. And the first thing I'm gonna eat is probably bread. Yeah, because I miss my bread so much. Crusty bread, yeah, crusty bread. Yeah, because in Belgium, my stepdad, he used to buy bread every morning from a fresh bakery, so I just miss bread.
I think there are now traditional American food that I've never tried before. Like, I don't think there are, because we have fast food too, and we have milkshakes. Because McDonald's it's everywhere. But the food that I've tried here and I never tried before is like, I know this is funny, but it's Indian and Mexican and Thai food. So I don't think in my country are that, like, we don't have that many foreign restaurants. We have some French and Italian because those countries are pretty close to me, and Turkish, but no, like, I've never had Indian food before coming here. And that's my favorite right now. And the thing that what I really miss from back home is also the bread, because we have really good bakeries, and not only bread, but croissants and that kind of and we have pretzels, but we have like special places, like everywhere you go in my country, there needs to be like a special pretzel shop. And there are so many different types, and I think that's going to be the first thing. Now I'm hungry now.
One more quick question, time for one more, and quick answers.
What are they going to do?
When they go back? Okay, what are you going to do as you return home? Education-wise, work-wise?
So I'm 19, so I'm going to college when I go back home. But now I feel like I'm so lost because I have a lot of different ideas thanks to my exchange. Like, I want to travel and I want to be fluent in Spanish, but also I love sciences. So I think I want to be a nurse and go to that organization in other countries and be a nurse for like these people in like the countries where there are wars and stuff like that.
when I get back home, I will finish high school. I have one more year. I have the senior year. And after that, I want to take a gap year and go somewhere in volunteering in South America. But I didn't tell my parents yet, so let's go. I mean, you know, they're very open-minded, so most probably they are going to let me do that. And after that, I want to go to college, and my top choice is here in the US, somewhere on the East Coast. But I need a full scholarship to come here, so the chances are pretty small. If not, somewhere in Europe. Anyway, this year, so far in school and stuff, I've been good at most of the things I had to do. This year was the first time when I really found something that I really like, not just, it's okay, I can handle that. And like this traveling and thinking, like interacting with other people and thinking about like the world and how we can create a better world. And I think later on I'm gonna pursue a career in international relations or something like that.
Thank you, ladies, all so much. This was absolutely incredible. We have a tradition that when we have guest speakers, we provide a book to a local school, Ross Elementary School, and this is called The Hunt for the Curious Cheese, and we'd like you to sign this before you leave today. And also, we would like to give each of you a four-way test coin. It's our theme coin for the year, and it has the four-way test on the back. And you may keep that or you may share it with someone else, whichever you wish to do. Next week we will be back here at the Capitol Plaza in the Emerald Room, and our program will be humanitarian concerns associated with drones. Before we do the four-way test, Taya has brought with her the four-way test in French, and I'd like her to read that to us, please.
Oh, okay.
Est-ce conforme à la vérité? Est-ce loyal de part et d'autre? Est-ce susceptible de stimuler la bonne volonté réciproque et de créer de meilleures relations amicales? Est-ce profitable à tous les intéressés?
Merci bien. And now let's stand. We'll say the four-way test plus one in English. Of the things we think, say, or do.
Is it true? Is it true?